What's going on, Neverwinter? It's your boy FGTV back at it again. I'm going to be bringing you a updated build for my Great Weapon Fighter. It's been quite some time since I made a build. There's a couple of things have changed. A lot of it stayed the same, but I figure I bring a build video and talk about the upcoming content that I want to be creating. Before we get into it, if you guys have some ideas and videos you want to see in the near future, leave them down below. If you guys want to follow me on my social medias, by all means, I'll leave the link in the description below, and you guys can contact me through there too. So with further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I know some might see this build video as just another video because not much has changed, but I wanted to make a current build video before mod 12, and I got the armor and the stuff I want to get from mod 12 and try out a couple things from there, so we actually have something to talk about for the next build video for mod 12 and 12B. So we'll get right into it. As of right now, I'm still using the relic. I have utilities on my defense, or I'm sorry, darks on my utilities for the movement. I have Azures on my defense for the defense. I have mostly power, mostly radiance on my offense. Some Azures because I wanted to see the crit. As of right now, I have not changed my character for the looming armor pin yet. I wanted to start getting the armor because a lot of the armor, especially the 500 item level armor, gives you a lot of armor pin. So I don't want to stack a bunch of armor pin on my companion if I can get some from my main. So with that being said, I have darks for utilities for speed. I have mostly radiance on offense and Azures on the defense. The rings I'm running right now is a +5 rise in power and a +5 brutality. Then again, I have not done a bunch of the new campaign, so I'm not going to go through that. If you guys want to see the explanation of mod 12, I'll leave that video in the link below in the description. So a +5 brutality, +5 power. Shirts stay the same. Obviously, you guys know what the artifacts are. I may switch out the lantern for the key, but I do have the key in my bank. I'm just not going to waste refinement on that. So I will switch that out and see how that is. I will keep the lantern like I did with the other ones to see where I can manipulate the stats and min-max a little more. So that's the character itself. That's the armor. And currently this is the stats, non-procced. You see I have 3k armor pen, plus I'm proccing a little bit with my companion. The companion has changed. I want to get my action point gain up a little bit. Combat advantage can be dropped down to 12. 12 is the soft cap for it, 1200. So I can use, that's why I'm going to substitute the lantern out. The lantern's going to drop it down 800, which is going to be at 1100, and it's going to give me the min-maxing a little more. Defense is not very good because I have the lifesteal boon on for the campaign, or the stronghold I mean. So we'll go back to the power. Okay, 46k power now. Other than that, the stats here, non-proc is kind of where I want it. Movement speed is going to be up a little more once I get the utility darks up. Right now, most of them are 10s, just a couple at 9s. I just want to be fast as possible, get to the mobs fast, and so on and so forth. The companion influence is going to be up a little higher, just because, if you guys see here, I'm going to be running the Fury build. And we'll go through that here in 1 second. The Fury build, I am proccing. Or I'm not proccing. I have 18 charisma, which is going to help with the companion stat bonus, as you see there. I took a bunch out of dexterity and put it in charisma because you can min-max the crit chance that you're losing. Also, from the last build, I switched back over to the half orc. I felt that the half orc is going to help me with min-maxing a little more than the dragonborn. So there's the stats. Again, there's going to be a couple changes. This is obviously going to change when my bonding's proc. So if you guys want to see what my stats are with bonding's proc and fully potioned, leave a like. If we get 10 likes on the video, I will go ahead and make that video for you. So we're not going to talk about powers a lot because everything is self-explanatory with the Great Weapon Fighter, Destroyer, Raffle for your passive, Slam, and Crescendo for your dailies, Indomitable, Fury, and Daggers for your encounters, and your at will should always be Sure Strike, Weapon Master Strike. So we're not going to talk a lot about those. They're all cookie cutter, to say the most. I have maxed out PowerPoints, so all mine are filled. And we'll go straight to the feats. I substituted out one out of this because Fury is a encounter, not a daily, so I don't need to be stacking action points. So I have one in this, 3 out of 3 in Disciple, 3 in Toughness. Onto the middle column, I have, or the second column, I have 3 in Endless Assault, and 5 out of 5 out of Steely Defense. This is grants you power equal to your defense, so I'm getting 20% of my defense as power. So that's why my power went up a little bit when I put my defense boon on. I have 2 out of 3 on crit chance because that's less than the crit severity. So I'm only losing 1%, which is about 400 crit. Every 400 crit for your base stats gives you about 1% crit chance. So I felt like having 5% more crit severity is better than having 1% crit chance. This here's, in my opinion, is a better stat than a crit chance. So that's what I went with for the actual Paragon. Most of this should be already cookie cutter for most of the Great Weapon Fighters. 5 out of 5 at a Great Weapon Focus. 5 in Disciple War, 5 in Staying Power, 5 in Executioner Style, Focus Assure, and since I'm running Fury, Relentless Battle Fury. If you're running Slam, obviously you're going to take 5 points out of Relentless Battle Fury and throw it into Battle Awareness. Running with a better group, a high-end group, a group that's using their buffs properly and rotations properly, Fury is hands down better. You're going to see better stats for your personal stat sheet if you're running Slam, because I'm losing about 20,000 power by switching back to Fury. When I first thought about it, how am I supposed to do more DPS if I'm losing out on 20,000 power? With the right cooldowns, your Battle Fury is probably up 100% of the time, all the time. So that's taken into consideration. Down here at the very bottom, Unstoppable Recovery is 5 out of 5, and Powerful Challenge is 5 out of 5 as well. Again, a lot of these here, cookie cutter. The only ones that usually switch is the Relentless Battle Fury and the Battle Awareness. Those two are the usually ones that switch around. Some builds will put in Mighty Blade. That's 12.5% AoE damage, but for some reason they don't consider Weapon Master Strike AoE damage. I don't know why. To me, that should be AoE damage along with daggers. So I think once they fix that, this might be something to test out and to see if that 12.5% AoE damage is good or not. For some dungeons like CN, where there's just mobs after mobs after mobs, maybe, or MSP, where there's just mobs after mobs after mob, I see this being pretty good if they would fix the structure of it. So that's for future videos if they ever switch it. We're going to go into Boons, the Stronghold Boon, Power Defense. I have experience because I am stacking up my level up rewards for double AD, and I have this just for the 500 item level. I kind of want to take it down because I don't ever PvP, and it's inflating my item level 500 points, which that's 500 points is a lot to be inflating your item level. So we got Dark Fae Hunter, we have Fae Precision, Elven Haste, Elven Ferocity, and Elvis Fury. These pretty much are self-explanatory. A couple you can switch up and down if you would like, but like the 3-point action point gain and the hit points, if you would like, that's completely up to you. But this, to me, this is pretty much best in slot for the Sharandar. I'm not going to go through all the names of each boons. We're just going to go ahead and talk about them. Again, these here are pretty much self-explanatory. You can, however, switch them around just a tad bit, but I would leave them pretty much the same. This, if you need more crit strike, again, that's only giving you probably about 0.6% of a crit chance rather than 250 power. So again, take it how you will. All these are pretty much self-explanatory. You want to stack power, defense, anything that's increasing your DPS. Like this AoE resist is obviously not something you want. So on and so forth. So 400 combat advantage, 400 stamina gain, 2% crit severity. This 2,000 power based on how much stamina and guard gain you're missing. So again, halfway through the battle, your stamina's all the way up, so you're not really getting much from that. Or would you be getting anything from this? So we'll quickly go through the rest of the campaigns. I am not going to show you the Mod 12 campaign because I have yet to start it. So here we are. Power, 400 crit, combat advantage 10%. This is probably the best one. Regeneration is a lost stat in this game in my eyes. Kind of like a couple of them. So this here, combat advantage. If you guys don't know how combat advantage works, check out the video of 5 crucial steps to increase your DPS. We talk about that in that. It's a little symbol on the ground where your feet are. Lights up blue when you're in the range of a combat advantage, and that's when that 10% will kick in. You regen stamina 5% faster and 10% damage versus demons. Again, that's still a pretty good one, especially if you're doing lower end content. Tyranny of Dragons. Some people will go with the first ones. 400 power, 400 crit, 400 armor pen. This is probably a must now outside of defense, and grants 400 lifesteal rating. And this, some people have been switching this up. They're going with 3% increased lifesteal instead of the 1.5% increased crit severity, just for survivability. With lightning proccing the way it does, the 3% lifesteal is going to help you stay alive, especially if you're trying to run ahead of the group and try to get DPS, even though you probably shouldn't do that. It's also going to help you stay alive in other certain situations where you're by yourself and you're doing HEs and you're getting surrounded. The lifesteal proccing from lightning will help you stay alive. The campaign for Maze Engine, 5% life severity, 400 combat advantage. Action points again, stamina regeneration, faster in combat. It's kind of like some of these boons counteract the some of the other boons in the previous ones. So I went with the 3% of the action points, and this one here, when striking a foe, you have a chance to gain 2,000 crit for 6 seconds. That's a lot. 2,000 crit is 5% crit chance, so that's going to help the people who are trying to hit 100% crit chance. Elemental Evil, 300 power, 2k hits, 4% lifesteal severity and 2,000 hits, 400 crit and 2,000 hits. And this one here, when taking damage, you have a chance to heal up to 24,000 hit points over a few seconds. After this effect ends, your critical strike is now increased by 1,000 for 10 seconds. That is very good as well. Storm King's Thunder, 2% life severity, 400 stamina gain, 2,000 recovery based on how much stamina and guard you're missing. Your HP is increased by 3,200, and I have this one here. I'm not going to read it. It's a lot of words to basically say 10 stacks equals 14,000 damage on the next target closest to you. Again, that 14,000 is not a lot, but again, every little bit helps. the Cloak Ascendancy. I went with this one here again because I was trying to maximize on the slam build. I probably won't switch to this. To me, these three here are the best for this one for the DPS. You could always switch to lifesteal if you would like more lifesteal. Recovery is alright. So this here is your preference. Maybe switch to this if you need help staying alive. And that one with Visions of Beyond. When you land a critical strike, your stamina regens 10% faster for 10 seconds. It just helps you move from mob to mob, trying to get there faster, because the mixing that with Battle Fury when activated replenishes your stamina, so you're moving faster, quicker through mobs, getting there fast before the other team, so you can get the DPS. Again, I haven't yet started on this one. If I had to pick starting off, I would probably go with the damage between with dinosaurs. Increase your damage 15% on dinosaurs. Starting off with the campaign being new and relevant, you're going to want to do as much as possible on the dinosaurs. Maybe when the campaign becomes irrelevant and loses its new car smell, maybe switch over to the 1000 power, because this 1000 power is everywhere, not just the jungles of Cholt. So again, that's just my thought process on it. Some people will pick the 1000 power over it. Some people will go that route and pick the 15% damage on dinosaurs. To me, a lot of these other ones are okay, but to me, that's where it's going to be. Out of these two, I'll probably go Beast Burden and then switch to Tyrant's Terror once Mod 12 becomes a thing of the past. Up here, I really haven't made my decision. Again, I'm not going to talk a lot about this because I haven't yet started it. So we're going to move right on the companions. My companions have been switched a little bit. For those who are going to say your Siege Master isn't legendary, I'm still on the fence if I'm going to switch Siege Master in for the Velociraptor. I do have that. It is at purple, but no one else in the group has it, so I don't want to waste a mil on this, and then everyone in the group say, oh, we're getting the new companion so we can get the 1% more damage increased. So that's why that is still purple and why it's not legendary. I did make a change for the Sellsword. Still best in slot. Right now I have the Bonding 12s. I have the Fierce Belt of the Companion 4, which is getting me 361 power, 541 crit. I have the Bold Necklace of the Companion, which is giving me 361 crit and 541 armor pen. This is me stacking armor pen a little more on my companion. And then I have this Fierce Sword Knot of the Companion. This is obviously going to go to 4. I will probably spend some time grinding out IG to get the rank 4 of this. It's not really going to increase my stats too much. You know, you're talking 20 crit and 13 power. So I'm not losing a lot based on the base stat for that. I am losing all of it because of the missing offensive slot. I have a Brutal 12 ready to go in. Brutal 12 is going to give me 420 more power and 420 more crit, along with the mediocre increase in stats by having a rank 4 version instead of a rank 3. So with that being said, that's the companions. In my eyes, the Sellsword is the best in slot, just because it has 3 offensive bondings instead of 2 offensive, 1 defense, and it still gives you the debuff as the one prior to this. If you don't have the means for that, you could always substitute it out. For the Con Artist has the 10% debuff as well, and it does stack with Mod 12. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the buffs have been switched, or the debuffs have been switched from maxing at 200% up to 300%. So you may see a couple changes into enchantments, into companions, because of that 100% increase of debuffs that are now relevant to the game. So with that being said, that's the companions. We'll go through the mounts. The mounts haven't changed at all. I'm still running Shepherd's Devotion, 2 Camaraderies, a Warning, and an Assassin's Covenant. In the near future, I will min-max these a little more, especially when I hit 100% crit. Outside of that, I will switch out the 2 purple enlightenings for a purple dominance, so I can get the 400 more power and lose 200 crit. So that's what I'm working on now. I may substitute one of the camaraderies out, or a shepherd's devotion. Depends on what we're doing. So with that being said, that's the end of the build. If you guys have any questions, if you guys want to talk about something, leave it down in the comments below. If you like the video and you want to see more, leave a like on it. I know I haven't been posting a lot lately. I haven't been streaming a lot of this lately. Destiny 2 came out, and right now I'm at 303, so my time's going to be, instead of 85% Destiny and 15% Neverwinter, it's going to be a little more of like 60 and 40. So I'm going to stream this a little more, get into mod 12, and make some more content for you. I will be making Destiny 2 content as well. I know some of you guys don't agree with it, but for those who have stayed with the channel and who have supported me through the Twitch process, I appreciate it. I appreciate your guys' support. And starting October 1st, we are going to be donating all the proceeds to fight breast cancer awareness, not only for Twitch, but for YouTube as well. So any proceeds we make, whether it be AdSense, whether it be subs, whether it be donations, I am doing a personal donation for myself. Every follower we get and every sub that we get for the month of October, I'm donating $2. So if you guys haven't yet followed my Twitch channel, wait until October and sign up. And all you have to do is sign up and hit the follow button, and it's $2 straight out of my pocket going into the fight against breast cancer awareness. Again, this is FrankgeppiTV signing out. Peace.